Oh hey guys, my last and final discontinued fragrances video today is on Atelier Cologne fragrances. So they have a ton of fragrances that they're just completely discontinuing, and so I wanted to give you guys an update on them. There's probably around 10 of them that they're completely getting rid of, and an entire collection is being cut out as well. And so today I'm going to let you know what those fragrances are, and if I own the fragrance or I've worn it, I'm going to let you know all about it as well. So if you want to find out about the discontinued fragrances from Atelier Cologne, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. Today I'm talking about Atelier Cologne, and recently one of you posted a comment, and I think it was because I did a video of fragrances that remind me of Montal's Intense Cafe, and I featured this fragrance Cafe Tuberosa on that video. And I think one of you commented and said, guess what? Cafe Tuberosa is discontinued. You should get yourself a backup bottle, something like that. And then they said I was at the New York City Elizabeth Street store, and they have them in stock there, and there's a 30% off discount. So a few days later, I did decide to make a phone call to them, and sure enough, they are being discontinued. I did buy myself a bottle. I did get the 30% off, it's here, but it's sad that this is going away. But I'll let you know the entire list that's being discontinued. Before I do, if this is your first time tuning into the channel and you still haven't subscribed to the channel, please do click the subscribe button below, and also click the bell so that you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So how many of you are a fan of Atelier Cologne fragrances? Let me know, put a comment down. How many of you is a fan of Cafe Tuberosa? It's my favorite fragrance from this house. I don't know, is it because it reminds me of Intense Cafe? You know, it kind of does remind me of Intense Cafe, and then it doesn't. Intense Cafe is that milkiness. This one doesn't have the milkiness, but it's definitely kind of gourmand with tuberose, whereas Intense Cafe doesn't have tuberose. This one does have tuberose, but there's rosiness in there. There is a chocolatiness in there, but it's really a delicious fragrance. I think the only notes that the Atelier Cologne website credits is coffee, tuberose, and bergamot for this. But I get some light touches of you know, cacao or chocolate in there, and then of course I get the rosiness, and I think that's kind of why it reminds me of Intense Cafe, a different take on Intense Cafe. So sad that this is discontinued, but I do have that bottle. And from what I remember, talking to the folks at the New York City Atelier Cologne boutique, they do have plenty of stock on most every fragrance that's discontinued. So if any of you are fans, you should contact them right away if you have the budget, obviously. I don't know if they're still having the 30% off, because I ordered mine before I left on a trip for about 2 weeks, and when I came back my box was delivered. So I'm kind of catching up with these discontinued fragrances videos, and this is the last one. So yeah, this is a really great fragrance. I really love it. Once again, with this particular fragrance, it's a great fragrance for fall wear. This fragrance is from this house. Most of them, not all of them, seem like more fall and spring appropriate, and of course some of them get so fresh they're summer appropriate. They do have the white bottles collection that is being discontinued, the entire collection, and those fragrances were more intense fragrances, and I felt those are appropriate for winter. But I think Cafe Tuberosa on its own, it's a great fall weather fragrance. It smells delicious, and it reminds me of coffee, and I'm addicted to it, so it makes me want to have more coffee. Anyway, Cafe Tuberosa, that is sadly discontinued. Now, one fragrance I've only had a decant of that I can tell you a little bit about it. I never got a backup bottle, and I'm not sure if I'm going to, but it is a great jasmine fragrance. Jasmine Angelique is discontinued, sadly discontinued. As I said, I don't have a full bottle, but I did have a 30 ml. I had a small bottle like this, and it's a great fresh jasmine fragrance with lemons and Angelica, and it's, you know, it's a very fresh wear, and I think this Jasmine Angelique is a perfect fragrance to wear for spring and summer. Again, there's no rules. I think it would be a great pick-me-up in the winter time. The the smell smells very, very fresh, and you know, like blooms, like when it's spring and things are blooming. Of course in the summertime as well. It reminds me of like when it's really time for these flowers to bloom. So that's kind of why I felt like it's very easy, liberally sprayed on. It smells very, very fresh, and then the jasmine is pretty pungent and strong. It's a great smell. It's not overwhelming, but a perfect balance of jasmine. Sadly, that one's being discontinued as well. And again, I don't have a full bottle of that one, but I did have, at one point I did have a 30 ml bottle like that, and I loved wearing it. So sad to see that one go. I don't know if I'm going to get a backup bottle of it, but perhaps I will. We shall see. So the next fragrance that's being discontinued is Ombre Nu. So this one is being discontinued, and I can see why this one's being discontinued. And I love amber fragrances, but Ombre Nu reminded me of a lot of other amber fragrances, and that's kind of why I didn't get a bottle of it. But, you know, it's sad that they're discontinuing it. Maybe perhaps they don't sell that many. And I think it's, again, L'Oreal. It's a business decision. They only want to sell things that, you know, they only want to carry or have things that sell. And obviously the fragrances that I am talking about today that are discontinued probably do not sell. Most likely this is a business decision in selling, not because an ingredient has gotten expensive. And that reminds me, if you haven't caught my discontinued fragrances videos from yesterday, you can go catch those. The first one was why fragrances get discontinued. You can find out the 3 different reasons. But here, with L'Oreal as a parent company for Atelier Cologne, most likely this is a business decision because these fragrances are not selling. And I can see Atelier Cologne, for me, is a brand that's known for their freshies. I think they do fresh fragrances perfectly, and most of the fragrances that they're being discontinued are a little more deeper. You know, the Cafe Tuberosa has a kind of like more of a deeper experience. So I can see why it's getting discontinued. And then of course Ombre Nu, probably for me it would fit more in the white bottles collection because ambers are more heavy fragrances, but given the fact that it's in the original collection and it doesn't sell, probably that's why that's being cut. So the next fragrance that I recently did pick up earlier this year, and I did a whole Atelier Cologne haul video, is Iris Rebelle. So I'm surprised this one's getting the discontinuation. It's fairly new. It's within the last couple of years, but I think once again this is a fragrance that kind of somehow maybe doesn't connect with the fragrances that are in this collection. Like this collection of fragrances has all the citruses. So you've got the, you know, the pomelo, you've got the orange sanguine, you got the clementine, you got the bergamot. All these fragrances are in this collection, and Iris, to me, kind of stands out. It's powdery and all that good stuff. So I'm just wondering maybe that it was a launch or something. Should have launched in a different collection. Either way, I did like this Iris. It's powdery but fresh at the same time. It had iris, orange flower, and Gaiac wood, so it kind of settled to kind of a warm, woody experience. But I think it's a great scent. It's just sad that it's gone. But you know, I have plenty of this fragrance, as you can see. I haven't worn too much of it. But you know, I guess it's a business decision that L'Oreal has to make, and to discontinue some of these fragrances. One other thing I want to bring up, you know, our Neiman Marcus here in San Francisco used to carry Atelier Cologne fragrances, but I think last year, towards the end of last year, or maybe earlier this year, I can't remember, they stopped carrying the brand. And the only place we can go now, we used to also have a store on Fillmore Street, and we had a store, and there was also a kiosk in the mall here, downtown San Francisco. Both of them are gone. The only place you can go to sample Atelier Cologne now is at Sephora here in San Francisco. Nordstrom carries it online, and I don't think they have them in store. I haven't been really checking around that store. And I think Bloomingdale's online sells it as well. Either way, that's what's going on with this brand. The next fragrance, which I don't have a bottle of, is Camellia Intrepide. So that one's being cut. Maybe it didn't make sense. Maybe it just didn't click with people. But if that doesn't sell. Definitely they're going to get cut. And maybe, you know, also the COVID might have a factor in getting discontinuations. I haven't brought that up with the previous videos, but maybe it could. Maybe people are not buying as many fragrances, but that's not what I'm hearing. I'm hearing a lot of people are buying fragrances. I don't know. But the next fragrance I want to talk about is Rose Anonyme Extrait. Now, thank God the original is not getting cut, but I've only had a 30 ml, which I have a tiny little bit of the Extrait left in here. So Rose Anonyme is really great fragrance. It's a fresh rose with some deeper legs, you know, like you know, it has some depth to it, so it acts fresh but it clings on. It's so sexy too. It's a really sexy rose. The smell is just a really original kind of a rose fragrance. I thought that it might have oud as well, but it doesn't. But the website for Atelier Cologne says rose, bergamot, and patchouli. There's a reason why I like this, because I like the patchouli in here. So this is not discontinued, but the Extrait version is, and I only have a little bit left, so we shall see if I pick up any, because I really did love the more intense, deeper, richer version of this one. But this one you can just wear liberally, like just spray away, and it smells great. You know, I think I'm gonna pull this one and wear it sometime soon, because I really love it. If there's a little bit of humidity out, and I was mentioning this in my humid weather fragrances video, rose really works great in humid weather. I'm going to pull this out and do it soon. Maybe even the Extrait version. But yeah, this one is sad that it's going, but thank God they didn't cut the original. The original is still great. I really love it. But the Extrait has got the deeper, richer qualities to it that the original doesn't. But it's a business decision most likely, and if it's not selling, they're going to get rid of it. Again, all these fragrances you can buy from the Elizabeth Street store. You can call them up, tell them Sebastian sent you. I spoke to them and I mentioned that it's me, and they recognize me and all that good stuff. But I was looking the Atelier Cologne boutique, Atelier Cologne website, and a lot of the fragrances I'm discussing today were still on their website. Alright, the next fragrance that I do not have that's being discontinued is Santol Carnation, but it says it's a limited edition bottles in the 100 ml, so I don't know if the entire fragrance is being discontinued. I never got this one, I never got that Camellia one, so this collection, I think there was also Blanche Immortelle, which is also being discontinued. Those ones didn't click with me, I don't know why, but Santol Carnation says 100 ml limited edition bottles will be discontinued. Silver Iris is another one that's being discontinued. It makes sense. I mean, they're discontinuing Iris Rebelle, and why have two Iris fragrances? But you know, this Iris to me does smell powdery and Iris kind of vegetal, because I find Iris has a vegetal kind of smell, but the bright sweetness of the orange flowers really stand out. So that's a great contrast with the sweet orange blossom or orange flower with that vegetal kind of buttery, powdery Iris fragrance. I never really got into Silver Iris, so it's not a loss for me, but I know there might be some fans out there, so if you are a fan, go make sure to get yourself a backup bottle. The next fragrance is Blanche Immortelle, and again, as I was saying, this collection of several of the fragrances just didn't click with me, so I liked them, but I just you know, something about them wasn't pulling me in, so it's not a loss for me. So the next fragrances I'm going to talk to you about are the fragrances in the white bottles, like these, and all of them are being discontinued. I only own 2 of them, and I really love Philtre Ceylan. Philtre Ceylan, according to the Atelier Cologne website, it's got Ceylon black tea, bergamot, and mint, and I do get those. When I wear this though, there is that kind of cumin touch that pops up. They don't credit this note, and it might be mysteriously appearing on people. They might be turned off by it, because there are people that hate this note. Yes, it appears on me, and that's what I like about it. But I love this one because it's got this kind of like very jelly-like tea experience, like Jello. There is this kind of like jellied experience when I'm wearing this. You can actually experience this. Ceylon black tea with the bergamot, which typically, you know, Earl Grey tea has bergamot in it. And then, of course, you got the mint too, but it wears really beautifully. It's very cozy. And once again, this is actually a perfect, appropriate fragrance for fall, but I think it's intense enough for winter as well. A great fragrance, but you know, there are no rules. I wear these any time of the year, and this is sad. This one is definitely sad it's being discontinued. But as I said, the whole entire white bottle collection is being discontinued. Next one, Mimosa Indigo. I didn't really get into this one. I think when this fragrance collection launch, they did a little event here at Neiman Marcus, and I got to meet the owner of Atelier Cologne. This was before they got bought out by L'Oreal. It's a husband and wife. I met the husband and somebody from their team also, and it was nice. They were launching the brand, and I really immediately fell in love with Philtre Ceylan and Tobacco Nuit, the last one I'm going to talk to you about today. But Mimosa Indigo, at that time, I was not into the idea of mimosa flowers in fragrances. I'm getting into them lately, but I somehow missed that one. But the other one in the collection is Poivre Electrique. So Poivre Electrique is really a peppery fragrance, so an electric pepper. So I didn't get into that one either, but you know, I don't really care for black peppery fragrances. Encens JINHAE is another one in this collection that's also discontinued. Now I think I did enjoy Encens JINHAE, but I haven't really gone back to it for a long time. But the last fragrance I want to talk to you about is Tobacco Nuit, and this I'm actually pretty low in my bottle. Do I get another bottle? I have a video on the channel comparing this to Tom Ford's Tobacco Oud. They're very similar to me. They have similarities. If you care to go watch that video, go catch it. It's with Dahlia. But I got a lot of Tobacco Oud left, so I might not get a backup bottle of this because they do remind me of one another. This features notes of tobacco flower, accord, tangerine, and labdanum. So it's kind of ambery, but it's got the kind of juicy tangerine, citrus, orange-like note in there, but it's tobacco. But they do say tobacco flower accord. For me, it's more of an ashy tobacco. Same with Tom Ford's Tobacco Oud. It's an ashy, kind of dirty tobacco. So you gotta like that kind of dirty smell to enjoy this one. And I can see this one being discontinued and the entire collection being discontinued because next to all those freshies, it kind of stands out like a sore thumb, I think. I do enjoy a couple of them, as I said. Sad they're going away. The only one I'm disappointed about is the Philtre Ceylan, but it's a pretty brand new bottle, 100 ml, so I'm fine with that. And Tobacco Nuit, as I said, I have lots of Tobacco Oud from Tom Ford, so I don't really need to buy a backup bottle. Anyway, those are the ones that are being discontinued from Atelier Cologne. So if you guys like these fragrances or any of the ones that are discontinued, go you know, get yourself backup bottles or contact the store. Again, just tell them I sent you and you saw my video. That way they'll be happy that I did this video, because this is not a sponsored video. I actually paid for a bottle of this you know, Cafe Tuberosa. I did get a 30% discount though, as one of you did mention they were having a sale. Thankfully I caught that. So I don't know if they're still having a 30% off sale. Go catch that. But I think they're having a summer sale, so it should be on still. And 30% off is 30% off. I mean, if I can get deals, I get deals. As I mentioned in my video for commodity fragrances that are being discontinued, they had a sale as well. It was a buy one bottle, get one bottle for free. And as I said also, please go catch those videos on discontinued fragrances if you haven't yet. Anyway guys, thanks so much for tuning in to watch this last video on Atelier Cologne's discontinued fragrances. Let me know if you're a fan of this house. Let me know if you're a fan of these fragrances that are being discontinued. Do you have backup bottles, or you don't care about them? Also, let me know which are the fragrances you like from this house. Either way, appreciate you tuning in. Please do like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.